Shooters Connection offers products for competition shooters by competition shooters. With over 80 years of combined competition shooting experience, Shooters Connection is staffed by master and grandmaster shooters who live the shooting sports every day. We offer same-day shipping. Shooters Connection also sponsors over 100 of your matches every single year. So when it comes to finding everything you need to compete as a beginner or a seasoned grandmaster, Shooters Connection is the only name you need to know. Online at shootersconnectionstore.com.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We're in a hurry. Jared has to get his beauty sleep, and so we got to get this knocked out quick.
Let's go quick.
We're going to be quick tonight. Okay, so my wife had this is the Hit Factor podcast, by the way. We have Jeff Cawthon, who is a single stack GM. We have Jared Sasquatch the Fox, who is a production GM, recently 11th place at Nationals, and I shoot single stack now a lot of times. But my wife submitted a question to the podcast, and I think is like she's sleeping with one of the co-hosts, so she gets her questions answered.
What the hell?
First.
Really?
I know, it's crazy. And her question was, this is a hard-hitting question. What is your favorite ice cream?
Favorite ice cream?
Yeah. I feel like Jeff's this is gonna be a hard one for Jeff, because like that means he's gonna have to like divorce like one of his kids.
Sherbet. Orange sherbet specifically.
Orange sherbet from Sasquatch?
Are you kidding me?
No,
What?
man. Dude, when I shoot down south, we go to Brahms, and I kill that shit.
I don't think I would have ever expected a Sasquatch to be that into orange sherbet.
Second favorite would be vanilla.
He's very sure about that too.
Wow. I mean, like that's like my grandma's like favorite ice cream.
Right. Yeah.
Well, your grandma had good taste.
Apparently. Yeah, and we'll just say like homemade ice cream doesn't count, right? Like homemade ice cream like almost always wins, but this is just like store-bought ice cream.
Oh, I thought we were just going flavors, but okay.
Yeah,
so
flavor's
like
fine.
A specific. Okay.
It doesn't have to be a specific.
Oh, okay. But yeah, for people that aren't aware, down here in the south-ish area, I think it's just like Texas and Oklahoma. We have Brahms. It might be in another state.
It's basically, basically.
I think they have some. I think they're in like Wichita, Kansas, and maybe like far south Missouri, but we don't have them like in Kansas City.
Yeah, like Liberal might. I think Liberal has one, maybe. Yeah, like there's but it is South Central U.S.
Yeah, it's a very local company. Like the Brahms facility and their dairy and everything is right around here, like within an hour of where I live.
Yeah.
So
good hamburgers. They're great.
Yeah, mainly known for ice cream though.
Yeah.
So I would say 2 flavors immediately came to mind. One was chocolate chip cookie dough, and 2 would have been chocolate almond.
Yeah. Chocolate almond. Okay.
Yeah.
The cookie dough I can get behind. The chocolate almond doesn't sound appealing.
Yeah, but it just goes. It goes. Like you gotta try it, but it goes.
So that's your final answer is one of those 2? You have to pick.
That's what immediately came to mind. If I have to pick just one.
You have to pick. Yeah, you don't get 2. I guess you could call it a Neapolitan, but that don't count really.
I really love just chocolate ice cream, honestly. Like if I have to pick one, like that's the only thing I could eat.
Just straight chocolate?
Yeah, just chocolate with chocolate.
Chocolate like with chocolate icing on top?
Sure.
I mean, chocolate syrup on top?
I love chocolate.
I'm surprised. Like, I'm actually a little shocked that for those of you who haven't seen the Bussin' video off of Instagram, where he takes ice cream and he adds sprinkles and caramel syrup, and then he adds Captain Crunch syrup. I'm really surprised that we didn't get an answer like that from Jeff. That's really kind of more what I was expecting.
Wait, another like This one might be my favorite. It's
Oh,
so
okay, here
hard.
we go.
I love ice cream. Is chocolate ice cream with like real peanut butter like swirled into it. Like it comes
Okay.
that way in the carton. Like you don't add the peanut butter. It's like the peanut
Oh,
butter's in it, mixed in.
okay.
But it's like the real peanut butter texture, so it's kind of hard and yeah, it's amazing.
So
So chocolate peanut
it,
butter.
that's it. That's the one.
Damn it. Chocolate. We'll just say chocolate.
Just straight chocolate. Okay.
Yeah, I can't.
He can't
What
divorce
about you,
himself from it.
Jeremy?
So I mean, like my go-to, like if I'm just at like an ice cream parlor and like I'm just it's really hard for me not to get mint chocolate chip. Like if I'm like out and getting it, I just like mint chocolate. Like it's like the kids' ice cream, right? I don't know how, like that was basically all I ate as a kid. If I was out going to get ice cream, I wanted mint chocolate chip every time. I don't know if other people did that or not, but that was my go-to.
What do you
Uh,
mean? That's what kids eat? Is that what you said?
yeah, I feel
Kids
like that's
eat mint chocolate chip?
I did. Like that was like if we went to Brahms, like I got mint chocolate chip, almost like every time.
I think I feel like that you're in the minority there. I don't think
Maybe
that's a
so.
kid's. That's not a kid's ice cream.
No, okay. I mean, like I felt like it was like, but maybe not. You could be right. Uh, but then there is also a Ben and Jerry's, and it's called, and he doesn't always have it at the store. Like I haven't actually seen it in probably like 2 or 3 years. It's called their Caramel Sutra, and it has like the very center of it. It's like a caramel core, like that's just caramel the whole way down, and then like one side of it's vanilla, one side of it's chocolate, and then it's got like these chocolate fudge chunks all the way through it, and that's pretty bussin'. Like that's bussin' for sure.
Yeah.
So like those two would be up there, but like this is gonna be bad because I'm gonna almost agree with Jeff here. But my favorite, it's semi custom. Okay, like it's semi custom. I don't know how many of our listeners have access to Bluebell ice cream, but Jared, Jeff knows what Bluebell is. You have Bluebell in your stores, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you do too. Okay,
Mhm.
like it's not Bluebell. I don't think maybe Bluebell's countrywide now. I thought it was. I thought it was not, but anyway, Bluebell Dutch chocolate, and then you got to take fresh raspberries and smash those up and mix those in with the chocolate, and that's probably like the best go-to ice cream like ever.
Raspberries.
Raspberries, yes, like the raspberries are kind of like tart, and then the chocolate's obviously ice cream's like really sweet, and it goes together like it's so good. It's great. So
Yeah, I
that would
thought
be
there was. I thought there was a Bluebell health scare a while back. Yeah, they were fined $17 million for listeria contamination.
yeah. I don't worry about stuff like that. It's not
20,
that big a
20,
deal.
2015.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
7 years ago. It's fine. No big deal.
but I just remember them being in the news.
Yeah,
There's
they
some
were, and
interesting
then like you couldn't
flavors.
find them. You couldn't find Bluebell for a long time
Yeah,
because they all got pulled off the shelves and whatnot.
mint.
All right,
Hmm.
so we are in a hurry because Sasquatch needs to get to bed tonight because Sasquatch uh, is gonna work out tomorrow morning, and he has proper motivation to work out, which
Yes.
I
4 days.
thought was
I'm
gonna
at
be a
4 days
girl.
in a row right now.
You have worked out for 4 days in a row?
Yeah.
Dadgum. He's getting it hard. And so so Sasquatch has bought workout equipment,
Yeah. I found the proper motivation for me. So the
spending
gym,
money.
the gyms near my house are not ideal. Like the only thing that's like a full gym close to me is a Planet Fitness. So I just decided that I would make the investment in a proper squat rack and Olympic bumper plates and a bar, a bench. I'm waiting for dumbbells to come back in stock so I can order those. But
So you
You can
spent
order like a set of dumbbells.
no, I'm gonna order a set of Iron Master adjustable ones. They look like the ones to go with.
Right. So like another $500.
I think they're like 900, but
900
adjustable
for a set of
dumbbells.
dumbbells?
yeah, well,
Adjustable dumbbells are ridiculous.
they go to 75 pounds.
Oh, I don't need them to go that high. I'll never lift that much weight. That's
Well, I
too
don't
much.
know
That
that-
attitude, you won't.
I don't know that I will either, but I'll be able to if I want.
Dadgum. Are they okay? Are like adjustable ones like? Are they any good?
Some
Yeah,
of them
there's-
are. So
There's good ones.
the ones that I'm gonna order, they're all metal, so they're like you could actually drop them and stuff without worrying about breaking them. Some of the cheap ones have a bunch of plastic in them, so I don't think they would be good. But the specific ones I'm getting, the reason I'm going with them is they feel like a normal dumbbell, more or less.
What are they called?
And
Okay.
Iron Master. And basically, as you add plates, they get longer, but they're not like always like massively overlinked. So if you're using them as a 20-pound dumbbell, they are about the same size as a normal 20-pounder.
Do
Oh,
they? Do the plates like? Do they lock in when they're like when you set them, or do they still kind of shake and rattle?
These have like a quick lock, so it like basically it's only threaded on like a quarter of it, so it'll drop down until it like touches flush with the plate, and then you twist it to tighten it.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
But no, I set up a full home gym in the garage, so got even got the rubber flooring for my garage. Cleaned up my garage to make space for it. Everything.
Man,
Dadgum.
it's like
I felt like
grown up stuff.
I felt like an old man walking around today. My
Oh, I bet so.
hamstrings and glutes were so sore from squatting yesterday.
So are you gonna use like what are you gonna use like for a workout routine? Are you just making it up as you go along? Are you like following somebody or what?
No, so the company I bought my rack from is PRX, and they have an app that they just push a workout of the day to. So for the time being, I'm just following that workout of the day.
So then I guess then like that workout kind of like it knows then the equipment that you have, like you have their equipment, so then it all
More or
follows
less.
that
On the stuff I don't have yet, I just normally either skip it or if I can substitute it with like a mobility band or something for like the dumbbell stuff I do.
Yeah.
So until I get a kettlebell and the dumbbells whenever they come in stock.
Okay, I got a question for you guys. What like if you have dumbbells, like would there be why would you buy kettlebells? Like what's the difference in dumbbells and kettlebells?
I don't know. So the kettlebell, they make an adjustable kettlebell that uses the same plates, and it's only like another $100. So I just figured I'd order it at the same time.
An adjustable kettlebell?
Yep, it uses the same plate system, so it's like a 22-pound kettlebell, and then you can add more weight to it.
Huh.
So kettlebells, yeah, like you're doing, it's totally different. Like you can do some of the similar stuff. Like you could curl a kettlebell, right? And you could press it, but really, like a kettlebell, you're going to be doing a lot of like swinging. It's a lot of like dynamic type movements. Not something you would do much with a dumbbell. Like a dumbbell, you might hold and squat, or you might snatch it. But the kettlebell adds kind of a different dynamic of like moving around while you're holding it, something else to control, make it more difficult.
So
There's a
like
lot of
that's so
plus
it's
you can
made
just- you could
round
just
so
have-
you don't
You could just
Like
have
you-
one and you can do like a ton of different stuff with it.
so like but you would use a kettlebell instead of a dumbbell because it's like round and it's not gonna hit your leg or stuff? Is that I mean I guess
Well,
that's the point?
Yeah, and then like certain stuff where you're lifting it overhead that it can like rotate in your hand against your arm without.
Yeah, that's the
Being
thing. It's like
awkward.
you're holding it and it's just like hanging, right? So you can like swing
Yeah.
it out. Right. And then it can flip around and go on the back of your wrist and you can press it. But it's a lot of like swinging and maneuvering it around is sort of like what you do with the kettlebell. You can
Oh,
do
okay.
other stuff, but like you can get like super heavy ones just to
Yeah,
do more
the
basic movements with. But like you could get like a really good workout with like a 35-pound kettlebell.
yeah. So that one that I'm ordering, I think it'll go to like 57 pounds or something.
Do you, and then kettlebell workouts, do you normally do it with just like one kettlebell?
Yeah.
You can do both. It just depends on what you have.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, from what you guys said, the cost of weights are right now. I don't know if I'm going to be buying anything, but I only have one 45-pound dumbbell, and I really want a second one. But if it's like
Yeah.
$2.50 per pound for something like that, I don't know that I want to do that.
Dude,
I
weights are
don't know.
so expensive.
Dumbbells might be a little cheaper. That's just what the rubber plates were.
I'll have to look it up and see.
I paid $100 for my 53-pound kettlebell.
Dadgum, can you even pick it up?
Not very many times.
But my plan on this though was being able to just walk out into the garage to work out would be a lot easier. Even though like you could drive 10 minutes each way to a gym in the morning, it does save 20 minutes of a morning, so it makes it a little easier. And it's a lot harder to not be motivated when you spend a whole bunch of money and you have to walk by it every time you come or go from the house. So
For a while.
Yeah, I bet you
That's
can
why-
do it though. Eventually,
why
you'll
make-
forget. You'll forget how much money you spent on it.
that's why I'm making it a habit. That's why I'm like I got to get up in the morning and work out.
Yeah, that's good.
good.
It's a good strategy. I like it.
Yeah, I've told a lot of people if I had to drive to a gym to work out, there's no way I'd work out. Like it just wouldn't.
So,
wouldn't
are you
happen.
telling like not through? Because you've been pretty consistent since I've known you in working out, right?
Mhm.
You telling me you haven't developed like kind of a love for that? Like you like to get out there and like get some work done?
I don't. Like I don't know that. Like every once in a while, you have a workout that like you kind of finish is like, oh, that was good. Like that. Like I mean, I enjoy being in shape more than I would enjoy being either out of shape or really fat. So like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I'm just not like the whole like I'm just not a meathead. I guess enough of a meathead. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I don't really care about like getting bigger. Like I would like to lose some weight. And I don't know that being bigger and stronger and whatnot is overly beneficial to shooting. But I do think being in better shape won't hurt my shooting any. So I think certainly on like longer matches and stuff, I think you'll just feel better in general. Less soreness, less tired. And being a little lighter shouldn't hurt either.
Yeah, if you're already built like a Sasquatch, then yeah, putting on weight is not going to be advantageous in this sport. Especially if longevity in the sport is something that you want, because the healthier you are, the more mobile you are, the longer you'll be able to compete.
I like it, Jared. Stick with it, man.
So, do you have like any like immediate fitness goals?
Nope. Right now, it's just do it and make it a habit.
Okay.
So you're
go
are you,
1 year, Jared. 1 year. Don't miss more than a week.
So basically, like I already decided that I was gonna like get back into working out. Like I was not like coming up to nationals and stuff like the last like month or two. I was just too busy to actually like start going and stick with it because I was gone like 16 days in September, I think. So certainly it was too busy to stick with it. So I just made a plan. It's like, all right, after nationals, like I'm gonna get going to the gym every day again. And then I'd been thinking about buying the home stuff for a while. So finally the other day I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it, just order it.
Yeah. That's what I do.
So right now it's just make it a habit. So just gonna try to do it every day for at least a month or so, and then probably figure out a little more detailed on like exactly what I want to be working on when and how many days a week and stuff.
Yeah. It's fair.
as Jeff says, just move your body to start.
Just do something.
That's what I'm
Do
doing.
something. Just do something. No, that's good. That's awesome. So, do you want to join in on our race whenever Jeff
No.
is going to race?
No, I'm not doing any running at this time.
What? You don't want to kick Jeremy's ass like I'm going to?
Uh, I have ran enough miles for the rest of my life.
That's not
Yeah.
true.
I ran cross country in high school, man.
So that was a long time ago.
I know. I've ran more than 5 miles in my life. That is sufficient.
Okay, Jeff, when are we having this race and what's it going to be?
I don't know. Let's talk about something else.
He's still scared. I set a new PR this morning on my run at the house.
You're like 1 mile
Yeah,
time?
yeah.
What'd you get?
It was 6:53,
Hell yeah.
which doesn't sound fast at all, but like on a track, I think I would like automatically drop probably at least 20 seconds because I have to stop and change directions 4 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've got an uphill section that I do twice, and it's pretty brutal. It's not like a huge uphill, but like when you're running, it doesn't take a lot of uphill
Yeah.
to hurt. So I really meant to go this cold, it getting cold, like I normally would do like a long run on Saturdays. Well, it's
Yeah.
freaking at 6 o'clock. It's still really dark, which isn't that big a deal, but it's also pretty cold right now. And so like if I don't run on Saturdays, if I don't run like before the family's up, it's kind of hard to leave during the middle of the day to go run or do something. But I really want to go run like a mile on a track and see what I can do with that. I need to make time to do it at some point.
You should. I would like to know what you can do.
I think
feel
I
like
could get.
You'll surprise yourself.
I think low 6s or maybe even sub 6s is maybe possible.
Yeah.
Sub 6 would be hard. I think sub 6 would be really hard, but I think I could be in the teens. For a single mile. Not easily, but I think I could do that.
You just need to take your wife out there and have her yell at you, tell you what a disappointment you are and stuff.
She's non-confrontational. She wouldn't. It would that I know. I need a Goggins behind. I don't need somebody to tell me how disappointed they are. I mean, I tell myself that enough as it. Like I'm perpetually disappointed in myself. I need somebody like a Goggins. Like I need like 2 people. I need David Goggins telling me telling me how soft I am and I need to harden up. But I need somebody else there to be like telling like, man, you're doing such a good job. Like just keep going. Like you got this. Like I need like both of those in my head at the same time.
Yeah, you need the yin and the yang.
Yeah, you need both of those. Yeah. And Jeff, have you finished your Squattober or whatever it was? Or are you still like?
Yeah, we finished it. Squat almost every day in October. That was fun. I enjoyed that. Made some strength PRs. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I'll probably do it again next year. There was a group of us at work that all did it, so it was pretty fun. We didn't all work out together all the time, but I think we did like 2 workouts together or something like that the whole month. But it was fun just like talking about it, and then a couple times during the month we all went, got a workout, and then did the squat workout after the workout. And it was cool. It was fun. It's fun to have character camaraderie building stuff like that.
Yeah, that helps tremendously. To have that. So like one thing that you've said on the Discord is it's like you have seeming like you feel like you are, because you've been like every time like you would try to get into working out, like you would get hurt. Like not like bad hurt. You weren't tearing ACLs or anything like that, but you were just like kind of perpetually had like nagging injuries. And like you've gotten through this here lately, like without doing that. Like, is that a change that you've made, or like something you figured out, or what?
So, like, there's kind of 2 things that I feel like contributed. One more than the other, and not how I expected. So like one, I kind of thought all the injuries were coming from lack of like mobility, stretching, and like recovery type stuff, which I think that stuff helped for sure. Um, but I think really like when I stopped having things hurt, like getting like a weird feeling in my bicep that wouldn't go away, or like knee pain or something like that. Like it was just when I was eating more protein, and I don't know. I feel like that's kind of weird because it's a bit of a no brainer. Um, but unless I'm like consciously, I just sort of noticed that I'm like not getting a ton of protein unless I consciously think about it. Like, okay, I need to make sure I'm getting 30, 40 grams of protein in this meal 3 times a day kind of deal, which is still like on the lower end of what you want, right? But if I wouldn't think about it, dude, I would get like 60, 70 grams of protein a day, something like that. And for someone that's like working out hard, that's not enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I basically started trying to eat lots of protein, and like at the end of the day, even if I was full, and I know this sounds bad, but like even if I was full, if I didn't feel like I had eaten enough protein for the day, like I would eat some protein.
Why aren't you just using like a protein supplement or powder?
I do. Yeah, I do. Like if I'm eating a meal that's not a high protein meal, like it's just like a bowl of pasta or something, or oatmeal, something that's just like not super high in protein, then yeah, I add protein to the meal. So that's kind of a change. And I've done that in the past, but I haven't done it in a while. And I feel like that's kind of made the difference in my recovery, especially through like squatting, like hitting heavy squats every single day in October. I feel like it made a big difference.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So are you on the dozen eggs a day diet again?
No, not a dozen eggs a day. I do eat 4 raw eggs like every morning after my workout
Why raw?
because it's quicker. Like I could just like crack 4 raw eggs, drink them, drink a glass of milk, and I'm done. Breakfast is over.
But what about your kid? She would probably like to have some scrambled eggs.
I get like 15, 20 minutes with the kid in the morning by the time she gets up, and then I have to leave because I have to be at work at 7, so I'm leaving the house at like 6:45,
Jeez.
6:50.
Yeah, that's early.
Yeah. So, and if she's up, yeah, I'll cook her some eggs or oatmeal or whatever she's feeling for that day. But yeah, I just eat them raw. Think what you want. Don't care. It makes me feel good.
I mean, like, if it makes you feel hardcore, like, that's cool. Like, I mean, salmonella's a thing, but, apparently not.
Dude, I have eaten so many raw eggs in my life. So many. Like, dear God, so many. Yeah, anyway. But they never caused me any issues, so, like,
How much protein's in an average egg?
It's not much. I think it's like 7 or 8 grams.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll do like 4 eggs, and then I'll drink like 6 ounces of milk, and then I might eat a protein bar as well, like later in the morning. Yeah.
I mean, so I have like 3 or 4 eggs a day, a couple pieces of bacon, and usually a big glass of milk every morning. So at least that meal I'm getting a decent amount of protein in.
Yeah. Yeah. You're good, man. You're good. But that's the thing that I think made the biggest difference in like being able to train and not get injured. Because, dude, there for a while, it seemed like every other week something else was hurting. And I really feel like it was just because I wasn't getting enough protein.
The other thing that Jeff hasn't talked about, which probably would contribute to it, is sleep. But he has decided that he's just not going to sleep enough, so that's fine.
Yeah. Well,
my sleep, that I'm trying to focus on now.
Yeah. So my sleep hasn't really changed though. Like I'm still riding the ragged edge.
I know.
We still podcast starting at 9 in the evening, and I get up at 4 every day or every weekday.
4's early.
I get up at 4. Yeah. So it's usually like this will be the worst night of the week. Every week, Monday night is the worst night, and then it'll usually get better unless the kid gets sick in the middle of the night or something, and that happens. But Monday night will be the worst. I'll get less than 6 hours, maybe close to 4. It just depends on when we get off of here and how that goes. But then the rest of the week, it'll be like 6-ish hours ish, give or take.
Yeah, if you're getting 6 solid hours, then that's probably not terrible.
Yeah. Sometimes it's solid, but you never know.
I think we should talk about some shooting stuff now.
Fair enough.
Quick rundown of nationals. We kind of already talked about production nationals as a whole, but Sasquatch was 11th, right?
Yeah.
So one of your better nationals. You may have finished higher as far as placement, but I think as far as like matches you've shot, it's probably one of your better ones, right?
So placement wise, yes. Percentage was certainly a little off. Plenty of errors, but it was a pretty tough match.
Yeah.
So, quick rundown of nationals, I guess. The good stuff is first thing I'll say is that it was the best ROing I've seen at the nationals.
That's good.
I didn't see any issues at all. Like the ROs were doing a great job keeping stuff running, helping make sure activators and stuff like that were set correctly. I noticed that anything that was kind of like close on a line or something, they were quick to just get an overlay out to check it. So hats off to the ROs. They did an awesome job. Efficient, quick. They had enough food at awards.
Nice.
So that was certainly an improvement.
Yeah.
I still feel like the Talladega range just doesn't have enough bays for nationals. So
Correct.
A lot of doubled up stuff. There were certainly some good stages that they did, especially with what they were working with. Some stuff we don't see a ton. So they had a fixed time stage that was kind of a normal stage. It was fixed time. That was fairly interesting. It's not something you run into all the time.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
But there was, to me anyways, it felt like that there was a lot of like forced shooting to 10. And not like, okay, this is a little bit better option. I can save some time. It's like, yeah, you have to shoot 10.
Yeah.
Or you're just gonna be way off. Didn't care for that. Like, best example is there was a stage where they had 8 poppers and a partial at the end, then you had to come back for a swinger. So some people would take some of the steel moving up and stuff, but realistically, it was a 10-round position at the back, or you were just adding a wide transition when you were farther back shooting some other targets.
Yeah.
So it didn't.
That's a bit dicey.
Yeah.
Should have shot a PCC. You could have had 40 rounds in your magazine and a dot.
But overall, I think it was overall the match was fine. Like the stuff that really matters was done well. So the officiating, how well it was ran, how that stuff was all good. The awards they did a good job on. So plenty of food. The Mark 7 sponsored an open bar.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like a quality match. That's good.
I look forward to seeing how it is at the Cardinal Center next year in Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was it being a production PCC? Like, can you have any comments on that?
there was, I think that's where some of the forced 10 round shooting and some of the targets were a little, for lack of a better word, dumb. Like, sticking steel plates behind a paper target to 30, I don't know, 35 yards or something that's half covered by another steel plate in front. I mean, that stuff's, I don't care for the gimmicky stuff like that. I mean, some people think it's fine. I I personally don't care for it. If you just look for like a number, I guess like half the stages were really good. Of the remaining half, probably half were fine, and there was 3 or 4 that were just like, yeah, that stage was kind of dumb.
How do you think it was for somebody shooting a PCC?
It was probably not overly interesting for him either. Nothing there would have been terribly difficult to shoot with a rifle.
Yeah.
So they probably didn't care. I mean, they're shooting a rifle, so. But from the PCC guys I've talked to, they don't really. It's not like they want to shoot stages that are like technically difficult for a rifle. Like they want to shoot pistol stages with their rifle. So.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. It's like, what do the people in USPSA want from a PCC match? Do they want a challenging PCC match, or do they want they want to be able to shoot a pistol match fast and furious?
Yeah, I mean the guys I've talked to like locally and stuff. But granted, we don't have any like heavy hitters in PCC locally, but they've all that I've talked to have expressed like they want to shoot pistol matches with their rifle. They don't want 50 or 60 yard partials or something for their rifles.
Right. Okay. Cool. Anything else from nationals?
Yeah, I think it hits the big things there.
So, what's your biggest takeaway that you want to try to improve for? Because your shooting season's basically over for 2022, right?
Yeah.
So for next year, like your season's over, wrapping up. Like, what do you want to be better at next year, other than faster and more accurate?
Yeah. So, like I mean, I haven't really reviewed or thought about it too much because it's kind of work's been super busy for me. Like I came straight back from nationals and had to work NASGW and stuff. But overall, where I probably suffer the most is on the harder, more difficult shooting, especially like when distances are stretched a little bit or the targets are harder. That's an area where I think there's a lot of room to gain. When I briefly glance through stage finishes and stuff, overall I was competitive time wise and hits wise on the little more in your face, faster shooting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I was the stages that had really difficult shooting on them. I was certainly quite a bit off the pace. So that's an area that will be a focus in training and something I'll work on. But otherwise, for the off season, I'm just experimenting with some different parts in my guns. So testing out short reach kits in my AO1s. So far, I think it's going to be a winner. I don't.
So
exactly
what does that do for the shooter?
Moves the double action trigger. The double action trigger starts at about just under a 1/4 inch farther back.
Okay.
It's like 5 millimeters farther back, so that's a 1/5 of an inch.
Yeah.
But why I am trying it is it leaves more room in the trigger guard for your finger, and it puts a little more consistent placement on your fingers. So when you're switching from the double action to single action. The big things I'm testing though is just to make sure that it stays reliable because you are shortening the double action stroke, so the hammer doesn't come as far back. And then also shooting some CO in the off season. Primarily doing that just to shoot high cap in the winter when it starts getting cold, so I don't have to load as much. And then also testing out some Rune Tactical spring and followers for my mags. With a newer brand out there that basically makes a 24-round Shadow 2 mag with a hitting base pad.
Wow.
There you go.
Seems
Wait a
like
second. Isn't that 24th round why we can't have 2011s in CO?
I think there's many reasons why we don't need to dilute the most popular division. But honestly, I don't even care what to do to CO. I don't shoot it. I'm going to shoot Nationals next year, but I care about shooting production. So have at whatever division changes you want to make. I don't think it's good for the division. And I will absolutely say manufacturers should not be the ones pushing division changes. And I say that as the person that works for the manufacturer, that we should absolutely have zero say on the division changes.
I mean, I would agree with that. I don't know if Jeff does, but I would agree with that as well.
We should, we all have the ability to build a gun that fits the division.
But what if the division was crafted specifically to keep a manufacturer out of it?
You know, back when CO came about, I really didn't care that it was polymer only when the original weight limit was made. Where I got annoyed was when they upped the weight limit and then added slide milling. And I'm like, okay, this is dumb. You're making it so the two most popular production guns aren't legal unless the user wants to spend an extra $500 cutting a bunch of weight out. It's like, at that point, it's stupid.
Oh, I mean, like, I don't think there's any doubt that they screwed up the division. Like, their initial rule sets for the equipment in the division was pretty messed up, and then their subsequent changes haven't really made it better from that standpoint.
And
I don't think there's any argument there.
Hindsight's always 20/20. I think CO would have been way more interesting if it was a 15-round division.
Yeah. 100. That's 100% agreed.
But that's easy to say when you're looking at it, you know, from our view in the future here.
I think a lot of like halfway smart people could have come to that conclusion even without the gift of hindsight.
Yeah, I see where they got where they ended up though. So the easy solution is you make it 140 millimeter mag, same as limited, because it's easy to check the gear.
Yeah.
So I get how it ended up where it's at, and it's probably better today than it was when you had to like mill a Shadow 2 to shoot it in the division.
Yeah, maybe.
But I don't know. CO is not something I'm very focused on. Like, I'll shoot Nationals and stuff in it, but it's not the division I care about, so I'll work with the rules that exist.
I certainly not high on my priority right now. All right, Jeff, you got some listener questions?
Hold up, before we go to listener questions, let's talk about our show sponsor today and our shout out. Singular
Patreon
shout out. Billy's getting lonely in the shout out thread.
Yeah. I thought we were going to have a couple more this time. They kind of didn't pan out.
But first, show sponsor today, Shooters Connection. Thank you, Shooters Connection, for sponsoring today's show. Shooters Connection sponsors over 100 matches a year in the shooting sports. Is run by competitive shooters, and they're doing same-day shipping. So anything you guys need for competitive shooting, stop by Shooters Connection. Today's product highlight, I might start doing that. I'm doing it today. I just found it on there. Pretty cool. They have the double alpha dry fire swinger set up on there. Cheapest one I've seen. It's like $24 for a swinger setup, dry fire swinger setup. Looks pretty sweet. I'm probably going to order one because I've been wanting one. Anyway, check it out. Dry fire swinger. Oh, they even got a video, like a demonstration video. Very cool. Anyway, check it out.
I have to put that on my Christmas list.
Yeah. Use the link in the description to support the podcast and let Shooters Connection know their money is well spent supporting the podcast. Shout out. Man, this is a different shout out because I don't know what this means. There's some weird little symbols here. This is from Billy McScrublord. There's some weird little symbols here. I don't know what they are. I feel like I don't know if I'm supposed to know what they are or what. And he says, "Take my energy, Billy McScrublord." That's it.
I don't know what that
know
means
what those
either.
symbols are
Hey.
either.
Give us your energy, Billy.
Yeah, we need all of Billy's energy.
All right. What do we got? Some topics y'all want to talk about?
Listener questions. We got a bunch.
We had some recent ones. Do you want to hit those or hit some oldies? Oh God, this is so old.
We can't do the 5 things about USPSA. We don't have time for that.
Right. I feel like we've answered this question multiple times.
Probably. There's not much new in shooting.
How about y'all want to talk about Burnout?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah? Okay, here's a question. We'll let Jared go first.
So, I haven't
Hold
really...
Hold on, Jared. Gotta read the question.
I'm sorry. I thought it was just about burnout. I thought we were talking about burnout. My bad.
How do you guys avoid burnout? Having a hard time finding the motivation to train this year. I hit every goal I have ever had in this sport, and it's pretty much killed it for me.
So, I'll go first then. Burnout's not something I've really experienced in shooting. So, like, after I got going, and got serious and it was training and stuff, I would take a little bit of time off every winter. And even when I'm taking time off, I'll generally still shoot my Tuesday night local matches. But I don't really view that as, for me in the wintertime, it's dark when I leave for work, it's dark when I get home. That's something social to go do. So I don't really, it doesn't bother me from a shooting standpoint. Like, I'm not training over the winter, I'm not dry firing over the winter. So I take some time off on that stuff. And then it's probably helped the last couple of years with components and stuff being challenging. I've certainly, the last year and a half, my shooting amount I've shot has went down a lot because you can't just buy 20,000 primers whenever you want. So I've shot a lot less than I would generally. So you end up shooting less at the range, you end up being gone from home less, and then kind of kept the fire to keep going. But if your burnout is like you've hit your goals, I would say you need to adjust your goals. I mean, goals need to be a challenge to reach, but they should be something achievable. If you're A class, you probably shouldn't be setting your goal to win nationals next year, but it's very likely that maybe you want to win your section match, or even if you don't shoot like level 2s or something, there's that guy that you never beat at the locals. Like, you want to crush him next year. You just got to have something to keep working toward.
Do you pick people to beat, Jared?
No, I mean,
It wasn't your goal to beat Joel at nationals?
No, I already knew I was going to beat Joel at nationals.
Oh,
as soon as we turn off the recording, Jared's like, "I fucking crushed Joel, guys."
That's right.
No, I'm not gonna say that, but like, I mean, when I was new and coming up, like the heavy hitters locally and limited, like, yeah, it was a goal to beat them, like get closer and then start beating them. But I mean, by the time I was like really serious in a master and a GM and stuff, I mean, the other local guy that was shooting limited at the time, he had moved away. So unless I massively screwed up, there was nobody that would beat me locally in limited back then. And after limited, I switched to CO for a year. And kind of once I figured out how to shoot a dot, like, it was the same type of thing. There was just nobody who was as serious locally as I was shooting CO. And it's been the same thing in production. So outside of like, trying to get closer or beat the guys in other divisions, it's generally, as I think most areas run into, the talent spreads out a little bit across the division. So there's normally a really good limited guy, or maybe two, a really good CO guy, a really good production guy, a really good open guy. You start trying to beat the other divisions, but even that, I don't put too much stock in it because some stages you can hang with a limited gun when you're shooting production, and then other stages like you don't have a chance of keeping up.
Yeah, that's fair. Jeremy?
So the guys that I see burn out a lot, like if you get in this sport and like what's your well, we're talking about goals, but like what's motivated you think if I can just get really good, then that will get me such and such. That'll get me sponsors. That'll get me more followers on Instagram. Like that'll like that's gonna get me something. So like the people that like come into the sport and immediately like they're wearing sponsored, like they're in the sport for 6 months and they're going like their first level 2 and they've got a jersey on with like whatever sponsor they can get that'll put that on. Um, and sometimes those guys get good really quick, and then they realize, oh, like even if I get really good, I'm not going to make any money at this. Nobody's really going to care who I am because I'm still not beating Nils. And then they're like, oh, what was the point of all the work I just put in and money I wasted on this? Like I see those guys tend to burn out real quick. Um, and like to me like so if that's your motivation in the sport is something other than just being really good at shooting uh and or the camaraderie that comes from the sport, to me like those are the two best thing that the sports has to offer is it will test your shooting skills and it'll push your shooting skills in a way that you can't get anywhere else. And then the camaraderie of like people that you can like meet in this sport, like if you're in it for things other than that, then there's a good chance you're going to burn out real quick, or maybe not real quick, but there's a good chance you will burn out. Um, and so like that would be a little bit to person like if they're worried that they're burning out, like that would be the thing I'm asked, like what are you in the sport for? And then I mean Jared already talked about it, but like having breaks in, like if you're a person that if you're very old and you've been in many other activities, you know if you're a person that burns out of something or not, right? Because like if you're 35 and this is like the third or fourth hobby that you've picked up and you've kind of gone all in on, like, well, okay, either that's just what you do until every 5 years you need something new to do, or you just push yourself to the point of burnout in this sport. So taking breaks is good. Um, you kind of got to know where you're at in your season. Like I really like having a season that is culminates with whatever your big match is at the end of the year. For me, like I always hope that nationals is kind of the last of the year because that way you can have structure to your season, right? Like you can kind of you start off, it's like first couple of matches of the year, like kind of getting into it, and then you're building up for nationals at the end, and then once nationals are done, like you've got time off. It's winter months. You're doing whatever you want to do through the winter months, and then you can kind of start that cycle again the next season. And so like I kind of like having that scheduled time off, because there are times in this sport where like some people will tell you that like if you don't feel like shooting, you should never go shoot, and then if you really feel like shooting, you should go shoot. There are times in this sport where you need to like even if you don't feel like shooting, you need to go shoot. Like if performance is your goal, like if doing well in performance is your goal, there's times where you need to put the gun on and dry fire, even if you don't want to. But there's also probably times where you may be like super like I really want to shoot this week. I really want to do this week. And honestly, there may be like you might need to not that week because you have a scheduled week off during kind of the slow part of the middle of the season. You need to take a week off just so that you can stay hungry for later on during the year, or save, as Jared talked about, save components for later in the year because they are harder and more expensive to get. Um, so like that's kind of my take on burnout.
Yeah, so I agree a lot with what both these guys have said. I kind of feel like there's sort of two types of people in the sport. There's the ones that come in and they're hyper competitive and they're like, or maybe there's more than two types of people, but I kind of view it as two types. Um, they're hyper competitive. They come in. The goal is to win. The goal is to be the best, right? You can do that with that attitude and care about nothing else for like 3 years, maybe. And at that point, if you're not making the gains that you should, most people will burn out and leave at that point, I think.
You bring up a good
Or you can transition to the other type of person, which is the person that is also competitive and wants to do well, but is here for the company and is here for what the community offers. And so I think you have to find your place in that mix, right? Um, Obviously, you need to take breaks, or most people do. Um, but I think if you come in and you're like, all I'm doing here is setting goals and crushing them, there's I think you will burn out. Like just pretty much hands down. There's like a 0.01%, maybe less than that, of people that actually will achieve and crush everybody and become that top tier and get hired by some manufacturer and they achieve that goal, right? Everyone else is going to achieve burnout and leave.
Yep.
But I think you can come here and you can stay and you can enjoy the company and you can train hard and you can try to achieve. But when you don't achieve, you've still got the company, um, and you still got the community. I think it's just there's a big range of who you want to be in the sport, and you got to pick who that is. You've heard all the great tools for combating burnout as far as taking breaks, changing things up, trying a different platform. Um, you've heard people talk about all those things before, but I really think it comes down to finding who you want to be in this space and being happy with who that person is.
I think you bring up a good point though earlier where you said something about gains. Like, I think that is part of burnout for some people too. Like when you're new and you're learning something like this new, the gains are huge and really fast. And then like you eventually you'll hit a plateau where you got to put a lot more work in to get a little bit better. And that's generally where you start seeing people falling off.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think it's important to have realistic expectations of like what can be achieved in the next 6 months or next year for you. I mean, if you're shooting, once you get to the point where you're shooting, I don't know, 80% at nationals, like, and you shot 70% the year before, it's probably not reasonable to think that you can gain another 10% next year. Like, it's not very much, but it's might as well be the Grand Canyon. I mean, it's a long ways to go.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, I agree. Like those first 2-3 years, if someone is working hard, they're just gonna make astronomical strides. Gonna be crushing everybody locally, and then it slows down for most people. So that's just part of it. And while we're talking about that, if you're looking for some place to plug in the community, and you want some people to talk shit with and meet up, join the Discord. Link will be in the description.
The Discord's great. You tell people how smart they are or how not smart they are.
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff in there. Usually is. Right now, like I'm not even talking about shooting in there. Like I just talk about working out because that's what I'm doing right now. So that's what I'm talking about. When I start shooting again, I'll start talking about that again.
It does run. It does run a pretty cool gamut of different discussions.
Yeah, it's been fun.
We doing
Anyway.
one more, or are we calling it there?
All right. I think that is a good place to stop. We're right at an hour, and
Oh, wait.
Sasquatch needs to wake up early.
Yeah. So, real quick, on some other news though, I am going to be taking a few weeks off the podcast because I'm absolutely buried with work right now. So, between trying to stick to working out and my actual job, I'm going to be taking a few weeks off.
You haven't been getting all the Discord money?
No, I have not.
What?
It's still a little shy of paying my mortgage. So.
Oh, I didn't work much to begin with, but I've basically quit now.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Jared. I must have sent those checks to the wrong address or something.
They went to the king of Ethiopia or something.
Oh, I saw an email that somebody wanted to give me $2.5 million of their Powerball winnings. So
that was
might
it.
have been you.
Yeah, that was me.
That was Jeff.
Oh.
Yeah, so give Jared some love. Keep him company as he is gone for his hiatus, his sabbatical, if you will.
And we'll try to have some guests on. I've got some people in mind to have on for the show. So hopefully, kind of over the winter months, we'll have a few more just interviews with other people, as there's not current events to really talk about a whole lot. We can at least maybe have some guests and stuff on to talk.
Yeah, basically now through February is like my busy time of the year, where I have to travel quite a bit, go places and do things.
Fair enough. Yeah, if you also, one last little shill here. If you want to work with the podcast, sponsor the show, anything like that, send us an email at thehitfactorpodcast@gmail.com. And also, a couple episodes ago when Jeremy and I were talking about nationals, and I had some opinions about women's category at nationals. It stirred up an interesting discussion on multiple levels. So we'll probably have a lady on fairly soon to give an opinion on that. I think that would be pretty interesting. I don't really have any super strong feelings about it, just thoughts and opinions. So I think it would be an interesting discussion. So if you have someone that you think might be interesting to hear their opinions, let us know who that might be, or contact us.
Have we had a lady or a woman guest on the show before?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Dang, you guys are a bunch of sexist people.
Just this is a the patriarchy.
Yeah. Gotta get the brains in here.
Trying to break through that glass ceiling.
That's right.
Yeah. Anyway, I wouldn't mind having some ladies on to talk about a couple of things. That would be pretty interesting, I think.
I know one that at least have opinions on stuff. We'll see if she wants to come on or not.
She'll come on.
Probably.
She'll do it.
All right, boys. It's been good. Y'all have a good evening. Sasquatch, wake up early. Hit the weights hard. Sweat a bunch.
Good luck.
Yeah, the garage is like 35 degrees in the morning. I don't know if I was sweating much.
Hey, put some down jackets on. You can work up a sweat.
Start with a sweatshirt and a stocking cap until you get warmed up.
That sounds smart.
Oh, stop recording, damn it.